Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer. Honestly, have you ever felt invisible to the women? You're drawn to like you're standing right there. But no matter what, you say how hard you try or even how much effort you put into looking the part. It's like they don't even notice you exist. If that hits home, stick around. What I'm about to share won't just flip the script on how women see you. It'll reshape how you see yourself now. Here's the cold, hard truth. Most men don't want a hair attraction isn't about looking like a Hollywood actor having a six-figure bank account or memorizing some cheesy pickup lines. No, those are distractions. The secret, it's not what Sochi has been selling you. It's something far deeper, more primal, and brutally honest in today's video. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm James, and I'm going to walk you through the raw, unfiltered reality of attraction straight from the lens of masculinity and self-mastery. Think of this as a wake-up call because the rules of the game aren't what you've been told. And here's the kicker. The principles I'm about to share aren't just about women. They're about life. They're rooted in the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. You see, the ancient Stoics under something that most men today overlook. They believed in living with purpose, building resilience, and owning your value regardless of what others think. This isn't about faking confidence or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about becoming a man who is grounded, focused, and untouchable. A man who attracts not because he chases, but because he exudes strength, certainty, and presence, but fear the power of cow and confidence. Warning, this isn't some feel-good fairy tale. The truth is often uncomfortable. It requires you to look in the mirror and face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. But if you're ready to take that first step, I promise you it will change everything. So buckle up. This isn't just another video about attraction. It's a blueprint to becoming the man you've always wanted to. Let's dive in. Here's the cold truth, and it's going to sting a bit. The key to attracting women has absolutely nothing to do with what you look like, what car you drive, or even the clever lines you think will sweep them off their feet. It's not about flashy displays of wealth or over-the-top bravado. Nope, all comes down to one thing, your mindset. And here's the kicker. Most men completely misunderstand the sabotaging themselves in the process. Let me make this crystal clear when I say confidence. I'm not talking about fat, loud, fake face type of arrogance you see some guys trying to pull off. That's just insecurity, wearing a cheap disguise, real confidence. The kind that's magnetic that people gravitate toward is quiet, it's solid. It's the kind of unshakable self-assurance that comes from knowing exactly who you are and being at peace with it, no matter what anyone else thinks. Think about someone you admire. A mentor, a friend, or maybe a historical figure like Marcus Aurelius. What makes them stand out, I'll bet, it's not their looks or their bank balance. It's their presence, their energy, that calm, collected demeanor that makes you trust them without a word. That's authentic confidence. It's powerful, and it's rare now. Here's the twist. The guys who aren't bending over backward to get women's attention, who aren't desperately trying to prove their worth, are the very ones who will attract women effortlessly. Why? Because they are not chasing. They are not playing games or performing for approval. And women can sense this instantly. They can smell desperation like sharks smell blood in the water, and nothing is more off-putting. Here's reality. Check. Trying too hard is like holding a neon sign that says, "I don't believe I'm enough." And that's the ultimate turn-off. Women wanting a man self-assured, who isn't afraid to stand alone, and who, breaking that pedestal mentality, knows his value. And this is where Stoicism comes into play, a philosophy built on self-mastery and resilience. The Stoics didn't care about external validation. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We'll love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Let that sink. And the foundation of Stoicism is this: stop living for the approval of others. True power comes from within. When you embrace this mindset, everything changes. You stop worrying about what she thinks of you, whether she'll text you back, or if you're saying the right thing. Instead, you become focused on living a life. You're proud of building your strength, your skills, and your purpose. Women didn't fall for the guy who needs them to feel complete. They're drawn to the man who is already whole. Now, let me ask you this. Are you ready to let go of the lies you've been told about what it takes to be attractive? Are you ready to step into the kind of confidence that doesn't fade, that doesn't rely on external validation, and that can't be shaken by rejection? Because once you do, you won't just change how women see you. You'll change how you see yourself. This isn't about trick or tactics. It's about becoming a man who stands tall in his own skin. The kind of man who doesn't need to chase because his presence alone commands attention. Now picture this. You walk into a bar, and across the room, you see her, the kind of woman who would make most men freeze to stumble over their words or overcompensate with a fake bravado. But not you. You don't get caught in that trap. Instead, you're calm, collected, and confident. You smile, not because you are trying to impress her, but because you're genuinely enjoying yourself. You're not scanning the room for approval or wondering how to make her notice you. You're just present, fully comfortable in your own skin. The energy, it's magnetic. But let's clear something up right now. This doesn't mean you ignore women or pretend you're not interested. That's just this fake-ass guy who's over there, top in his approach. The secret lies in balance, showing genuine interest while making it clear that your world doesn't revolve around her. It's about being open to connections, but never needing them to validate your worth. Let me give you a scenario. You're at a party and someone catches your eye. The average guy would hover around her like a moth to a flame, trying too hard to crack her the truth about attraction and standards joke, dropping compliments. Every other sentence, or worse, acting like a clown to stand out. But you don't fall into that trap. You're not dares to make a move. Instead, you enjoy the night, you chat with other people. Share a laugh and just go with the flow. Then when the moment feels right, you approach her, not with a rehearsed line or a nervous smile, but with calm confidence. There's no pressure, no overthinking, no biffs. And that effortless, easygoing vibe, it's irresistible. I used to be the guy who overthought everything. I remember one time at a friend's wedding, I saw this woman who completely caught my attention instead of just relaxing. Envying myself, I spent half the night rehearsing what I'd say when I finally walked up to her. My nerves betrayed me. I stumbled over my words, and it was painfully obvious I was trying too hard. She smiled politely, but the connection, it wasn't there. That night taught me something important, no matter how clever you think your approach is if you're not confident and comfortable with yourself. It shows. Fast forward a few years, and I found myself in a similar situation. But this time, I wasn't playing games with my own mind. I was just there laughing, having fun, and enjoying the moment when I approached her. It wasn't about impressing her. It was about sharing a moment. And you know what? It was effortless. And it worked. Here is the brutal truth. Most men don't want to hear. Women aren't just responding to your words or actions. They're responding to your energy. If you're anxious, insecure, or overcompensating, it doesn't matter how smooth your lines are. They'll sense it, like a shark senses blood in the water. But if you're relaxed, confident, and genuinely happy with who you are, the energy speaks louder than anything you could say. It's this unspoken presence that women can't help but notice and be drawn to. And this isn't just dating advice. This is life advice rooted in ancient wisdom. The Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca taught the importance of self-mastery and inner peace. They believed in living with purpose, not for the fleeting approval of others. Think about this. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Irresistible phrases that build connection. Listen, you control your internal state, your thoughts, emotions, and how you carry yourself. Everything else is noise when you embody this mindset. It radiates through everything you do. You stop worrying about impressing others because you're too busy living a life you're proud of. You don't chase the attention because you already have purpose and fulfillment. This is what makes you stand out in a sea of mentoring way too hard to be noticed. Let me ask you this. What's more attractive? A man who's desperately trying to be someone he's not, or a man who's fully at ease with who he is? The latter doesn't just walk into a room. He owns it without saying a word. Is not acting his living. That's the kind of man women are drawn to, not because who's chasing them, but because whose presence alone is enough to captivate the world. Doesn't need another guy trying to fake confidence or impress people who don't matter. What it needs is more men who are grounded, self-assured, and unapologetically themselves. So the next time you walk into a room, don't worry about whether or not they notice you. Focus on being someone you're proud to. When you do that, everything else, including women, will naturally fall into place. That's not just attraction, that's power. And it starts with you. Hold up. Before we go further, I want to hear from you. What's the one thing you've noticed that makes women instantly attracted? Drop a comment with self-respect is Megan I. If that resonates with you, let's talk about it. Now, let's get brutally honest for a second. Stop putting women on a pedestal. I know society has been screaming at you to worship her, treat her like a queen, and prove you're good enough, but let's be real. Where does that actually get you? When you elevate someone to the skis, guess where that puts you at their feet? And let's be clear, no one respects someone who willingly places themselves beneath others. Here's the harsh truth. Most men don't want to face when you treat someone like they untouchable, like some goddess who can do no wrong. Stoicism in dating, what Marcus Aurelius would do. You're not showing respect, you're showing weakness. Respect is mutual. It's not bending over backward to please someone or agreeing with everything they say just to stay on their good side. That's not respect, that's submission. And let me tell you, women don't want a doormat think a booty. Why do the so-called bad boys seem to have no issue attracting women? Is it because women love being mistreated? No, that's a lazy excuse. Men tell themselves to justify their own failures. The truth is, these guys don't worship women like they some divine beings floating above the rest of humanity. They see them as equals, flawed human and capable of both good and bad just like themselves. That mindset creates a dynamic where women don't feel pressured to be perfect, and more importantly, it keeps the guy from losing himself in the process. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a situation where you tried to be too nice? You showered her with compliments, augured with everything she said, and went out of your way to prove you were a better man, and what happened 9 times out of 10? She lost interest. Didn't check us? Here's the thing. Women don't want a man who sees them as untouchable agains. They want a man who respects them, but also respects himself. The guys who stand out are the ones who aren't afraid to have their own opinions, or even if it means disagreeing with her. They're not combative or disrespectful, but they're also not afraid to challenge her. Why? Because they see her as an equal, not as some mythical creature that needs to be coddled or constantly impressed. Let me put it this way. If you treat someone like they're out of your league, they'll start to believe it, and so with you. Confidence isn't about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to compromise. If for anyone, this ties directly into something the Stoics understood thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors and philosophers, once said, "Don't value yourself lower than others. If you're equal in virtue, why placate them above you?" The lesson here: everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time. No matter how beautiful or intimidating they may seem, you are not less than anyone. And the moment you believe that the dynamic how to talk to a woman like a Stoic shifts, women don't want to feel like they're bankrupt. They want someone who sees them for who they are. Someone who challenges them, excites them, and keeps them on their toes. It's not about being a nice guy or a bad boy. It's about being a man who found it in his own value. So stop playing this game where you pedestal women to the point of diminishing yourself. Be respectful. Yes, be kind. Absolutely. But never sacrifice your self-worth in that process. Women don't need a follower. They're looking for a partner. Someone who can stand beside them, not beneath them. And if that stings to hear, good. Because sometimes the truth is uncomfortable. But it's exactly what you need to wake up and level up. Stop chasing approval. Start respecting yours and watch how everything changes. Let's cut through the noise for a second and talk about something crucial. Keep your standards high. Now, I'm not telling you to be some superficial jerk, nitpicking every little flaw or expecting perfection. That's noted at all. But here's the real deal. If you don't know what you won't tolerate, then you'll end up settling for whatever comes your way. And trust me, that's a one-way ticket to misery. Having high standards isn't just about what you want. It's about what you demand from life. It's about having clear values and making damn sure that the people around you align with them. You see when you refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It sends a loud, clear message to everyone, especially women. You respect yourself, and guess what? That self-respect, that's the stuff that attracts real lasting connections. Let's break it down. Imagine your date tells a man and they start showing you signs of disrespect or not treating you like you're worth their time. Now, most guys in this situation would either ignore third flags or make excuses. Not you. You've built your life around standards that you live by. And you won't tolerate when you stick to those standards. You're showing that your time is valuable, and women can sense that they'll respect you more because they know a man who values himself won't settle for less. And that it's a magnetic force is the thing that most guys don't get real. Attraction building. Unshakable confidence through Stoic wisdom has nothing to do with some clever line or trying to outsmart someone with mind games. It's not about tricks or gimmicks. Real attraction is raw. It's about living your life with purpose, doing what you want to do, and being, legitly yourself when you're redoing that, when you've got your life together and you know what you want. You become a magnet for the right people. Women can see through. So when you're desperate for validation and you actually respect yourself, that become a superpower. This brings me to the brutal truth. If you don't have high standards for yourself, you're already setting yourself up for failure. You'll attract the wrong people. You'll be stuck in toxic relationships. And worst of all, you'll lose sight of who you really are. So start today. Set the bar high. Hold yourself accountable. Live your life like you actually matter because you do. And when you do that, women won't just be attracted to you. They'll be compelled to be part of your world. At the end of the day, it's not about playing the game. It's about winning the game by being the best version of yourself. You're not here to chase validation. You're here to build something that lasts. You're here to show the world that your time, your energy, and your life are worth more than just being a stepping stone for someone else's happiness. So stop tolerating anything less than what you deserve when you build a life you're proud of and you live it on your own terms. The right people will come to you naturally, not because you played some game, but because you lived your truth unapologetically, that's real power. So how do you actually put all of this into practice? Let me tell you, it's a process, the magnetic effect of self-respect. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and feel like a brand new person, and that's okay. Change happens step by step. Starting with small shifts in how you think and act is a great place to begin. Grab a piece of paper and make a list of the things you love about yourself. Yep, right now it might feel weird or even awkward at first, but trust me, it works. Maybe you're a great listener, have an awesome sense of humor, you're super dedicated to your goals. Whatever it is, write it down. Seeing those qualities on paper is like giving yourself a boost of self-esteem. It's the first step in really appreciating, well, you are next. Challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone. I'm not saying you need to do anything crazy, but take small risks. That push you to start a conversation with a stranger. Sign up for that cooking or dance class you've always wanted to try. Even if you're afraid of looking silly, every time you face a fear, even in a small way, you prove to yourself that you're capable, and that builds real confidence. Here's another game changer. The next time you're out somewhere, make a conscious effort not to try and impress anyone. Just be yourself, relax, enjoy the moment. You'll be surprised by how much this changes your interactions. People pick up on that ease and authenticity, and it's magnetic. And here's a big one. Cultivate hobbies and passions that have nothing to do with conclusion. Dating or relationships taught seriously. There's nothing more attractive than someone who has their own rich, fulfilling life. Whether it's playing an instrument, traveling, or working on a side hustle, find something that lights you up. Not only will it make you more interesting, but it'll also give you a sense of purpose and happiness that doesn't rely on anyone else. If you got something valuable out of this video, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who might need to hear this. Hit that like button and subscribe for more tips to completely transform your love life. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below with the most valuable takeaway you got from this video. One as your insight could be the one that helps another guy facing the same challenges.